5 for this Wednesday, January the 24th, 2024. Patrick Reynolds taking you home at this 5:06 p.m. on the East Coast. You just heard Town Talk with Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce President Bill Russell. Every Wednesday here at 4 p.m. leads us right into the news drive at 5. They had a good discussion on the real estate market and home inspections. So check that out on WSIC News Talk social media. Catch that on demand. And here on the news drive at 5, I am joined live in studio with a guest, somewhat of a pseudo co-host today. Iredell County Commissioner, and you may remember her as my co-host on the Why Should I Care program.
Wait. Who's
What?
Co-host?
My co-host.
I believe that was the other way around.
Okay, I co-hosted you.
There we go.
I finally got a show. Can I have a moment in the sun for a moment?
Oh, I guess. So welcome to the banter. Welcome to the banter. Okay, your turn, Patrick.
I was just
I'll let
really
you steer this time.
See, you were jumping right along, and you were just gonna let me say your name.
Let's see. I wonder how many people can figure out the voice.
Everybody, it's Melissa Nieder. Melissa Nieder is back in studio with me. Thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here. It's
Appreciate
a pleasure.
the time. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got some news headlines today, revolve around Iredell County. You are running for re-election on the Board of Commissioners. We got a chuck full of show news today, and producer Joe telling me we have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. How are you?
Hi, it's Yolanda. How you doing?
Hi, Yolanda. Yolanda from iCats joins us for our traffic update. Good afternoon, girl. How are you?
How are you today?
We're doing well. A little drizzly and damp up here in Statesville, but what do you got for traffic?
I have police and fire activity on I-77 northbound at exit 33, major backup from that exit on back. And then we also have heavy congestion over the bridges due to the fog is really, really heavy over the bridges. So it's slow going over there. And we also have a major backup at exit 23 over there by the Huntersville, from Huntersville up to Pineville Matthews exit.
Okay.
Going north. I'm sorry, going south.
Southbound. Okay.
This rain has my brain soggy. Sorry.
Well, these are getting the jump on the April showers, so May should bloom beautifully here around Lake Norman.
Beautifully.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Safe travels to you this afternoon.
Yeah, everybody be safe and use your low beams on the fog.
Y'all heard Yolanda out there. Use your low beams on the fog. So we've got some low cloud cover and some rain causing some delays. Police and fire activity northbound on I-77, exit 33. Some congestion and slowdowns on the bridges, and a little bit of a slowdown, exit 23 southbound on I-77. Pack your patience as you're leaving the office today, but safe travels. Get home to the family. And Melissa, you got into the studio okay, nice and safe. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Good to have you today. We're going to go over some news headlines, and we're certainly going to delve into your campaign and get your thoughts on some Iredell County news here on the News Drive at 5. You ready for that? You buckled in?
I am ready.
And you got that headset on. You're looking good.
I do. Look professional, right?
You're the one in the room that's professional, so it's good to have you with us.
At least he's finally admitting it. Making a note of that right now.
5:10 p.m., January 24th,
right.
2024.
Patrick said. I still got the Patrick said. Don't forget, we're going to have to recap how we got together.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
On this one?
We got some stuff to go to.
You do your job.
I do my thing.
Do your thing.
And we're going to recap, then it's going to be all you and me. This is going to be fun. 844-STUDIO-4 gets you into Patrick, Melissa, and Joe. And we want to talk about the tickets that we are giving away to the home shows coming up. One this weekend and one in February. 4-pack of tickets will be given away in the 5:45 segment of the News Drive at 5. The Greater Charlotte Home and Landscape Show, January 26th, 27th, and 28th at the Cabarrus Arena in Concord. And the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, February 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Park Expo and Conference Center in Charlotte. Melissa, I might be able to hook you up some tickets if you want to go.
That is one of my favorite things to go look at. Anything when you're talking about home and yard.
I know. I remember.
Yes, absolutely.
I remember.
So how many tickets are you giving away?
We've got a 4-pack to a lucky winner who calls
Okay.
in. It's 2 to each show.
So that's going to be what time do they need to call?
5:45.
5:45, and that's Joe's job to keep up with the clock.
Well, it's sort of mine too. He's going to get mad
okay.
if I do not. So
I got you.
I don't want to get scolded by the producer.
I understand. Well, you can see the size of those numbers in here, so you shouldn't miss the clock.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
They are.
I will keep my eye on them and keep my co-host in line.
Oh, good luck. Go ahead, back to the news.
Co-host.
Back to the news.
The top 5 at 5 stories that we are tracking for you today. The Iredell County Sheriff's Office makes an arrest in connection with area break-ins. A German company plans to invest $38 million into a Mooresville facility. The Troutman Planning Board recommends approval of a new townhome project. Mooresville commissioners approve a Langtree rezoning project. And fundraising support is a priority for the Mooresville Graded School District. We have Commissioner Nieder in-house, and she is going to give us her 2 cents on some of these topics as they directly affect Iredell County. Our top story right now. A Stony Point man faces several charges in connection with motor vehicle break-ins at a home off Harris Bridge Road following an investigation by the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Darren Campbell announced the arrest of Jacob Lloyd Fountain, age 27. The Iredell County Sheriff's Office Deputy English responded to a residence in the 300 block of Harris Bridge Road on January 21st in reference to a report of a suspicious person. Upon arrival, Deputy English spoke with the homeowner and reviewed a security video that showed a chainsaw had been stolen. Now, Melissa, you have a very good relationship with the Sheriff's Office here in Iredell County. Darren Campbell and his boys on air here at WSIC every week,
They are.
as well as definitely on top in keeping our folks safe. How much interaction do you have as a commissioner with the Sheriff's Office and Darren Campbell?
A regular basis.
Yeah.
We talk. We hear what's going on. Top-notch team. We are so proud of the work that they do in our county. Low crime rate. We feel safe. Not to mention the fact that we have the SROs in every school, the involvement in the community, the teen academies, the citizens academies. That's how you build the relationships. And he is all concerned about the relationships with the people. But the team, they're professional. They are top-notch. Couldn't ask for any better.
We have them here every week in Good, the Bad, and the Guilty, right?
That's
yes.
it. That's it.
I always want to say Good, Bad, and the Ugly, being a Clint Eastwood fan,
Right,
but
right.
obviously they got the title of the show for that. Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here at WSIC. We had a replay today, as does happen from time to time. They are the Sheriff's Department, so sometimes things happen where maybe a radio broadcast is not their top priority. So we had another repeat. If you're on the WSIC social media platforms or listening to the station, you heard a rerun this afternoon. On-demand stuff, but they should be back here Wednesday next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 105.9 FM, 100.7, and 1400 AM, as well as the WSIC socials. We have got Iredell County Commissioner Melissa Nieder in studio as my co-host and guest. We've got more top stories of Iredell County and Lake Norman, and we're certainly going to delve into Commissioner Nieder's thoughts on the headlines, as well as any thoughts she has on her campaign. News Drive at 5 rolls on. We'll be right back.
Stick around for more of the News Drive at 5. Coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, we'll keep the scattered shower chance in as we head into our Wednesday night. Rain chance is actually going up as we head into our Thursday, and a mild night of weather on the way, too. Temperatures only fall back into the low and mid-50s in the overnight hours. Your Thursday, a bit wetter than our Wednesday. Scattered showers likely at times. Our temperatures will be back in the 60s for Thursday and for Friday, with a scattered shower chance remaining to end the work week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Merlefest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information can be found at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Want to attend the Greater Charlotte Home and Landscape Show? How about the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show? Throughout the day, you have your chance to win tickets. Listen to Good Morning LKN, the Home Ad Show, the News Drive at 5, and the Scoreboard. Each show gives you your chance to win. The Greater Charlotte Home and Garden Show, February 23rd through the 25th. The Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, January 26th through the 28th. Mooresville's Parks and Recreation is excited to bring The Great Magician Murder Mystery Dinner Theater to the Charles Mack Citizen Center, Saturday, February 10th. This is not your usual murder mystery experience. An evening of theater and mystery that will have you laughing and gasping. The Great Magician Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, Saturday, February 10th. For more info, visit ourtownstage.com. Chi-Town Transit Authority is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Saturday, February 3rd. Come hear the 8-piece Chicago tribute band, horn and woodwind sections included. Chi-Town Transit Authority, Kane Center for the Arts, Saturday, February 3rd. KaneArts.org. That's CAIN Arts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
How do you know which vitamins, herbs, or homeopathics are right for you? Come to Lowry Drug. You will be amazed at our selection of natural products, including vitamins, minerals, protein supplements, herbs, homeopathics, essential oils, and Bach flower remedies. We have quality products and smart selection for your better health. Come see us at Lowry Drug on Harkness Road in Statesville. Call 704-873-2247. Come see us.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join in the conversation on the News Drive at 5 with Patrick Reynolds on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
News Drive at 5 rolls on here, WSIC News Talk Radio for Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. I am Patrick Reynolds. Thanks for having us along for the ride. Before we go any further, I want to say happy birthday to our station owner, Justin Kazepis. Yes, it is his birthday today. I don't know the age, but I'm sure he's over 21, old enough to vote.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Yeah, that is a good segue. That is a good segue. I want to get to this story in Mooresville here shortly, which you, Melissa, can share quite a bit more on it than I have. I'm going to introduce it. But first, our listeners, some of them may be tuning in saying, oh, great. It's great that Patrick and Melissa are back together for a segment, and some of them might be tuning in going, who the heck is Melissa?
That's right. Where did she come from?
Fill our listeners in. If they don't know, maybe they've never heard of the Why Should I Care program.
That's right,
because
it's been a while.
It's been a little bit. Yeah.
It's been a little bit since that happened. But yeah, I can't even remember the year, Patrick. We would have to dig back into your
18-ish, 20.
I think you're right. Yeah, I was going to say, look back in your photos, right? Because we did some promotional stuff. But yes, back when Kim Wasson was out here at the station, I had a conversation with her, and she encouraged me to go ahead and take that next step into community involvement, sharing what we do with nonprofits. Because of my years with McDonald's, I was so involved with community. So I'm like, okay, let's take this on the air. That was the next thing, because so many times you hear about things that are going on. How can I help? What can I do? And the thing I would hear a lot is, I never heard anything about that. I never knew I would have been a part of.
Right.
So you get me off the street corners, quit hollering about it. It's like, let's do a radio show. And at that point, a lot of the topics could have been a little heavy, everything from suicide to veteran distress and various other topics. I needed a sidekick who could take verbal abuse. And I'm like, well, Patrick's a great one for that. So at that time, you were still here in advertising.
Yep.
And you were familiar with the ins and outs of radio. And I was familiar with the ins and outs of talking and sharing perspectives and asking questions. And that's where you came into play. It's like, okay, so you and I, we had well over 100 episodes.
Sure did.
And I came up with the name, Why Should I Care, for the radio show, because literally is a little sarcasm, but in truth, why should I care? It's truly because there's so many reasons and so many causes out there to care about. Little did I know that Why Should I Care as an acronym is WSIC. So that was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That was never on
coincidence,
purpose.
but cool.
It is.
Yeah.
So during our, it was every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, we would meet in the station and interview so many nonprofits and hear the stories. Oh my gosh, it was all over the place with the causes and the communication of that. So, and then it got to the point where I just didn't have enough hours in a day, and I was stretched so thin on trying to do everything that I wanted to. It got to the point where I had to take some things out of my schedule. But there's nothing like doing live radio, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity back here with you at the microphone. Oh, the memories of verbal banter, questions, trivia, and good stories. So glad to be here.
Thank you. I had a wonderful time with the show with you.
It was good.
So many good memories. I never had a bad memory or
you blocked it out if you did.
Early morning coffee.
Yeah, that was true. A lot of it.
Yeah. Well, you did get so busy as a commissioner, and our next story relates directly. You've got some great information on this. Let me
tell us a little bit about that story.
A little bit of facts here. In Mooresville, Dean, I believe I'm pronouncing that correct. Is it Den? Okay, excuse me. DEHN, German company, which is an international electric engineering and manufacturing company, has selected Iredell County as the location for its new United States headquarters operation. This is going to create, according to them, 195 jobs. The company will invest $38.6 million into this project, which will bring production, research, and training capabilities to the headquarters site, which will be located in Mooresville.
Indeed.
You know a whole lot more about this right now. You were there.
I was there, and it was one of the pieces of being a commissioner that I really appreciate. It's like I'm on the Economic Development Corporation board, and with that, I get to see what companies are coming here. But before we dive in a little more in these details of the story, I want to ask you a question there, Patrick. You know what it's like when there's thunderstorms, lightning strikes, and things like that. So, you know, we all are familiar with a surge protector. You plug it in the wall, you plug your items, your sensitive digital devices, TVs, things like that. Hopefully it doesn't, have a lightning strike near the house or your office. So that is just a small piece of what this company is involved with. Let's take it to the next level. It is an electrifying topic, if you will. With that, the other aspect is what happens when businesses lose power, lose internet, lose everything. We're all plugged in, right?
Sure are.
We feel restricted if things could become unplugged. What do we do if our devices don't connect? We're stuck. Talk about your distribution centers losing power.
Yeah.
Think about this one, too. What about hospitals? Yeah, they've got backup generators, right?
Right.
A lot of businesses do. However, there are situations where lightning strikes or electricity, various things are so high a voltage that it causes a crippling effect. They are working on products that would take, now see, I'm not the engineer. They've got qualified people, but I was really astonished that there is a business that is working on creating grounding type equipment. Okay, imagine this. It's like it's in the ground. It absorbs that lightning strike and spreads it into the earth. Okay, I'm not a scientist. Don't pretend to be one. But it is phenomenal what they're working on doing to protect our businesses, even small down to, homeowners. Grounding, lightning strike protection.
So beyond face value, I read the numbers, just the jobs, the amount of money being invested. This goes way beyond that.
It does. They're a worldwide company. Okay. They've been in business for 113 years and family owned. So it's a very interesting dynamic. So yesterday, at the I guess you could say the announcement, we had
press conference. Was it?
Very close, because we had state representation of commerce and such making these announcements because their pay is on a higher scale, so they're being recognized from the state as well. It's above average pay for Iredell County. Okay. So we had the city of Mooresville, we had the state of North Carolina, I was there with the county, we had economic development. And these are things we want to see coming into our area as we expand and grow, is we want to see businesses here that are they're family owned, but they're worldwide. They have other businesses located in Japan, India, around the world. And they selected Mooresville, North Carolina. My hometown, I was born and raised. Here's another part of this. Let's bring it down to those of us who've been in the area for quite some time. Merino Mills down in Mooresville area is an area that was a mill that was pretty much looking like it was on its last leg. Speaking of legs, I used to go in there as a, young teen and buy Levi's because they were manufactured there. And you could buy the seconds for a lot cheaper than you could pay full price. So I spent a lot of time there. So my legs, get it, legs on the pants, legs walk down. Okay, never mind, Patrick. It's okay. That's all right. We'll leave the humor for later.
I get it just fine.
Okay. I'm the guest. You're supposed to laugh. Remember the order of these things at work? Thank you.
You're hilarious.
Okay. So I had an opportunity to meet the CEO, the family members and all. And they had such a huge team from Germany there, such a professional group, and excited about it. And what they really liked was the way that the community embraced them. They felt like it was a good place to bring their people to raise their families, to look at our community to provide an opportunity for interesting jobs, good benefits, and good pay. It was just, a fascinating opportunity to meet someone, not like I've, he was very well versed in English. And the one gentleman, his name is Ingo. He was one of the ones that would do the real estate scouting, if you will, picking out locations, makes his home in Canada, versed in 4 or 5 languages because he really just travels around the world to expand the business. So welcome to Mooresville, as I can say.
Yeah,
German to Mooresville.
That would be my natural next question. It's like,
Sure.
well, why Mooresville? I'm like, well, we welcomed them. Hometown feel.
We've got the business park. We've got the amenities. We've got the people. We've got the school systems in the area that are ready and willing to train the people. So, and if you look at Iredell County, it is such a great place to live for so many reasons.
I do.
See? I was going to say, just because I was born and raised here, and I often ask questions, just like I was harassing our producer over here, Joe, how did you wind up here? So, and it's the fun and games of getting to know our people. But the Economic Development Corporation works very, very hard at working with businesses to find them suitable locations. So,
looking forward to them moving here. Another story. Let's go. In Troutman. After listening to an hour of neighbors' views and further discussion among board members, the Troutman Planning and Zoning Board voted to recommend approval of a conditional mixed residential rezoning request by Nest Communities for the River Rock Townhome Project. This will be at the corner of Perth Road and Autumn Leaf Road. The developer wants to build 134 townhomes on 11.5 acres currently designated as highway business and neighborhood commercial. The previous owner is hoping to attract a grocery store or a small shopping center, but that never materialized. Any connection with that and Iredell County commissioners, or is that more of a town?
That is a town decision.
Town decision, okay.
And that's interesting that you say that, and we can jump into that topic for just a moment here before we take a break, and then we can wrap it up afterwards. But just for some thought-provoking questions here, who does make those final decisions for those houses that are popping up all throughout Iredell County and surrounding communities? So those are things that I hear a lot of times. It's like, well, who has that right? How can they put those houses there? And what town does it belong to? Is it the city of Statesville? Is it city of Mooresville? We've got all these municipalities growing in other parts of the country, or county, I should say country. Some days it feels like it, in other parts of the county. So we'll touch on that one, be thinking about it. If you can come up with an address, does it belong in a municipality or is it county? We'll quiz you, Patrick, here in just a few minutes.
That was good. X-Radio host. News Drive at 5 rolls on. Patrick Reynolds will talk to you after the break.
More of the News Drive at 5 after we pay the bills on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, we'll keep the scattered shower chance in as we head into our Wednesday night. Rain chance is actually going up as we head into our Thursday, and a mild night of weather on the way, too. Temperatures only fall back into the low and mid-50s in the overnight hours. Your Thursday, a bit wetter than our Wednesday. Scattered showers likely at times. Our temperatures will be back in the 60s for Thursday and for Friday, with a scattered shower chance remaining to end the work week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion Service Departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com. Are you 60 plus and love to travel? Introducing the Senior Travel Discount Network, brought to you by Low Cost Airlines. Call us anytime, day or night, and save up to 75% on your airline and hotel reservations. We can help you save a ton of money to fly almost anywhere. We have inside discounts on over 500 airlines and 500,000 hotels worldwide. And when you call and mention the discount code 60 plus, we'll give you an extra free night with your qualified air and hotel reservation. Now you can get the best prices on air and hotel reservations with your phone. We make it easy and fast for you to save money and book a trip. Remember, call the Senior Travel Discount Network, mention the discount code 60 plus for your free hotel night with your qualified reservation. Call now.
210-503-7591. 210-503-7591.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
Call 800-239-8296. 800-239-8296. 800-239.
Tilly Harley-Davidson is simply the best, and their service department is second to none. Right now, 1K, 5K, and 10K M8 service is only $351.25 plus tax, including SIN 3 and heavy gear oil. Stop by to schedule your next service or online at TillyHD.com. Be road ready with Tilly of Statesville.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
This is North Carolina Senator Vicki Sawyer. Join me on Fridays at 11 a.m. for our show, We're Just Saying. We'll discuss state and local politics, and as always, take your calls here on News Talk WSIC.
Now, back to more of the News Drive at 5 with your host, Patrick Reynolds, on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Barely back from commercial. The News Drive at 5 with Patrick Reynolds rolls on 5:34 p.m. on the East Coast. Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. We are about 10 minutes away from that ticket giveaway. 4-pack winner for the home shows in Concord and Charlotte. Alongside Melissa Nieder today, who's my co-host and in-studio guest. Want to get to a couple more stories here, get your take on it, and then we want to get to your campaign, or your re-election campaign as well. In Mooresville also, they've got some rezoning going on in the Langtree area, aligned with the long-expressed goal of creating a technology-focused corporate campus in the Langtree area. Mooresville Town Commissioners unanimously approved a rezoning, clearing the path for construction of a high-tech manufacturing facility. At a recent meeting, the town board approved a planning staff-generated request to rezone more than 87 acres along Transco Road and Langtree Campus Drive around the existing Corvid Technologies operation to hybrid light industrial. The new zoning correlates with Corvid's plans to build a 200,000 square foot plant for the production of items primarily for the defense industry. Places in Iredell County growing like I don't know what to say.
So you say Corvid, and it is a very unique business. So that's the expansion going on down there. Yeah.
Yeah. More. Yes.
Things that we didn't see when we were young, Patrick. It wasn't quite the same. Manufacturing has changed just
quite a bit. Quite a bit. Jumping from that, growth all the time. More stuff. What comes with growth, but the issues faced with that, including the school system. In Mooresville, flexibility and funding emerged as prime subjects during the annual gathering designed to emphasize and enhance collaboration between the Mooresville Graded School District and the town, county, and state elected officials like you. Their legislative breakfast featured 2 hours of conversation focused on district objectives, and in particular, how government representatives could support Mooresville Graded School District in pursuit of those particular goals. You were on hand for that breakfast.
I was, and it's very interesting. I've been able to attend that breakfast it's an annual occasion, as you mentioned.
Yep.
I have attended that one for many years. I was there as a business owner and listened in from that aspect, and now as an elected. What we are faced with so many times, the school's challenges as well, is looking at everything from calendar flexibility to how schools are graded. They were great at Mooresville Graded School District for sharing information, explaining those things. And we also had Vicki Sawyer was there and Gray Mills, where they were also there to take that information, because a lot of times we at local level are not able to change those, but we can listen and help support and share information. And it's critical that we have those relationships at state level, that they hear directly from schools and staff what it's like for them to deal with daily. That's a hard business now, to get people to come become a teacher. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know in my personal life, I think more former teachers than current school teachers.
Right.
Someone said, and I can't take credit for these words, but I'm going to paraphrase, is you don't become a teacher certainly for the salary or the money, but because you feel a calling.
Absolutely.
That's what you got to do. And you need to reward good people like that.
Right.
And the question is stuck with folks like yourself is, there we go, how?
How? Exactly. And that's what state could help navigate some of those at the Raleigh level, too. So.
Well, in conjunction with this Langtree announcement for Corvid Technologies, I think we had one last week that approved the development of a connector from Langtree area over to 115.
East-West connector?
Yes, the East-West connector. That's it. And the thought process, which I agreed with, was here, let's put in the infrastructure first before we develop the area. The area and the land has been approved for development, but the first project is to put in the infrastructure. In all these surrounding towns, Huntersville, Cornelius, Mooresville, around Lake Norman in general, I think that's the number one complaint with the traffic and schools is we built up and the infrastructure is lagging behind. From your point of view, as a county commissioner, why is that, and how did that get to be? Any idea?
It's unique from state to state. A lot of times, so first and foremost, we've got to realize what the responsibility is of county and what the responsibility is of your municipality, such as Mooresville, Troutman, Statesville, and you've got Harmony too, and we also have Love Valley. But we're looking at some of our larger growth situations where there's been conversations around ETJ, there's conversations around annexation, and what the county's role and responsibility is with that. So number one, county does not do roads. So we're not responsible for roads. Cities and municipalities are that. The counties are responsibility for schools and parks and recreation direction of providing the capital, the buildings, and those pieces of it. So we also have growth with subdivisions in the county, but we've also seen a lot of the growth coming from right inside your municipalities, such as Statesville, Mooresville, Troutman, and the growth. And that is one of the biggest concerns that we have. So here's another interesting. Well, we don't have enough hours in a day to cover all of this, but
we'll use all we got right here.
We'll use what we got right now, because these are questions that I get a lot. How come, let's just say the city of Statesville is allowed to build a subdivision outside of their city limits? Annexation.
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing. There is a limit, 3 miles way a crow flies, for the city to be able to annex a property. However, the property owner has to request that. The city of Statesville cannot demand that piece of land. It is a request from the owner of the property. Then they work with the city to have the rezoning after the annexation. And that could be anything from a rezoning for a business, it could be a rezoning for houses. So their guidelines and restrictions are different from what the county has. So it gets very, very confusing if you live next to or near and you're used to living in the country and you see the city coming into the area. So it's a complex life-changing situation when we are in a county like Iredell that the growth is tremendous.
Here's something I heard, and I'm going to stress the words I heard because I don't know this is fact. But I heard somebody, and it was somebody in office, say that the development falls with the town and the roads are with the state. You just described a situation where I think the roads are also with the town. So development. Is that an easy definition there?
It is not.
No.
It's not easy to define. And another tough piece of this puzzle is in the state of North Carolina, we are not allowed to have impact fees. And I will give you a definition on what an impact fee is to make sure that I get it exactly right.
Please.
So another challenge in the county is we cannot charge impact fees on developers. An impact fee is typically a one-time payment imposed by a local government on a property developer. The fee is meant to offset financial impact a development places on public roads, schools, parks, recreational facilities, water, sewer, among other services. Currently, local elected officials are not permitted to request an impact fee from a developer. This was decided by the North Carolina Supreme Court years back. And at this point, our state elected officials have not brought forth legislation to allow local governments to levy impact fees. So who does that burden fall on?
Taxpayers.
Yeah, that's right. Your property owners. We have sales tax. We have property tax. The burden falls on that. We have, of course, there's other minor income that comes to the county. But here's the thing. When these developments pop up, who builds the schools? The county. We've got services. We've got EMS. We've got 19 different fire departments, volunteer. Then you've got the cities have got their fire departments. So we've got, of course, you'll hear people say that growth, we've got good problems. That's right. We're not drying up and blowing away. We do have jobs. We do have a great place to live. But we've got to find a balance. And the rate of speed is what concerns me at times, and the number of houses. To the point where in the county, as we as a commissioner sit currently, are not accepting ETJ requests. That's extraterritorial jurisdiction, meaning if the city wants to go ahead and take land in without annexation, it's a no. Okay, so if you want the annexation, you have to do it with the property owner because we believe in property rights. You know, it's like we don't want to come in here and say, hey, you can't sell it to, whoever's you're interested in selling it to.
It's a free market.
Right, it's a free market. But it's like, what are our restrictions? So at county level, again, we are looking at and currently working on putting additional restrictions on buffers, creating cluster homes where they have more open space. They can still cluster the houses together, but giving more open space and more green space. So it's a lot of changes going on, a lot of changes.
Less than a minute left here till our next break. Why are these impact fees not being charged? Why was that brought up by the Supreme Court all those years ago? Why is that? That seems very, very counterintuitive. Like, why in the world does that happen?
It depends on who you're going to ask. I suspect, and I'm saying this out loud on the radio, I suspect that it's very awkward in Raleigh to sometimes get things passed with lobbyists. But it is time for us as a state, and some areas do have impact fees. It's something we need to look at and talk with our locals and with our state representatives because we've been putting a lot of burden on our local taxpayers.
Well said. We've got more with Melissa Nieder coming up after the break and our ticket giveaway. The News Drive at 5 rolls on. I'm Patrick Reynolds. We'll be right back.
Keep it here. We'll be back with more of the News Drive at 5 with Patrick straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, we'll keep the scattered shower chance in as we head into our Wednesday night. Rain chance is actually going up as we head into our Thursday, and a mild night of weather on the way, too. Temperatures only fall back into the low and mid-50s in the overnight hours. Your Thursday, a bit wetter than our Wednesday. Scattered showers likely at times. Our temperatures will be back in the 60s for Thursday and for Friday, with a scattered shower chance remaining to end the work week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Merlefest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information can be found at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Want to attend the Greater Charlotte Home and Landscape Show? How about the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show? Throughout the day, you have your chance to win tickets. Listen to Good Morning LKN, the Home Ad Show, the News Drive at 5, and the Scoreboard. Each show gives you your chance to win. The Greater Charlotte Home and Garden Show, February 23rd through the 25th. The Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, January 26th through the 28th. Mooresville's Parks and Recreation is excited to bring The Great Magician Murder Mystery Dinner Theater to the Charles Mack Citizen Center, Saturday, February 10th. This is not your usual murder mystery experience. An evening of theater and mystery that will have you laughing and gasping. The Great Magician Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, Saturday, February 10th. For more info, visit ourtownstage.com. Chi-Town Transit Authority is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Saturday, February 3rd. Come hear the 8-piece Chicago tribute band, horn and woodwind sections included. Chi-Town Transit Authority, Kane Center for the Arts, Saturday, February 3rd. KaneArts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join in the conversation on the News Drive at 5 with Patrick Reynolds on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
News Drive at 5 rolls on, 5:48 p.m. on the East Coast for Wednesday, January 24th,
Hey,
2024.
Patrick, what you got in your hand? What is that?
What is that? These are the winning tickets.
The winning tickets.
I got a 4-pack of tickets right here, right now.
What are you going to do with them?
I'm going to give them to a lucky caller.
What are they going to do? What number do they got to call?
844-STUDIO-4.
Studio. I mean, I got to type that out?
No, you don't. You can dial same number, 844-788-3464. 844-788-3464. That pack of tickets. I'm holding in my hand for the social media video feed. You see those tickets.
That's
They're
right.
yours. Just got to call in. 844-788-3464. Always say that number more than once. We learned that from Joe Vagnone on Local Biz Now.
Well, it's like especially if, you don't have that pen and paper ready.
Sure.
And I can't memorize numbers. It might stick with me for just a moment there, but sometimes pen and paper.
Did you want that one more time? 844-788-3464.
That's right. And don't say that backwards. That would just confuse everyone. But it's 4 tickets to the Home and Garden Show.
Yeah, two shows, 2 tickets to each show.
What? Now you're confusing me.
Call in to win. Leave it at that.
Just leave it at that. Win
Leave
a
it at
ticket.
that.
That's right. Then we can figure it out, right?
Yes.
I got something to ask you, Patrick.
Go ahead, Commissioner Nieder.
Have you got all your news stories taken care of?
We have covered our headlines for today. What do you got?
That's good. So let's do some thought-provoking questions because we have been talking a little bit about the political world, right?
A lot about the political world.
And it is to the point now in this day and age where it doesn't go away. It's pretty much constant, it feels like, even though there are certain weeks and months that it is heavier and more prevalent in your face at various levels. I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's actually a question that I posed to seniors in a high school when I had gone to visit a class, okay?
Okay.
So I spend time in classrooms and visit with
Quite a
and
bit.
talk to, and I talk to, whether it's civics or finance or any of the different aspects of in the classroom. So as I was visiting one of our local schools, one of the questions I asked the seniors in there was, do you think being a politician is a bad thing? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did it by show of hands. We'll circle back around to that in a moment.
Okay.
So, Patrick?
Yes.
Listeners, that's the first thing that pops in your head. Is being a politician a bad thing? Patrick?
My answer, no.
Okay.
It's not. My thought is that you, much like a teacher, for some reason, whatever's inside you, you were called to serve. I put politicians, lawyers, mechanics, police officers, like the 99.99% are down there doing a great job every day, but that 1/10 of that 100th one percentile, that's your news headlines. Are because there's bad folks in absolutely everywhere, every profession. But those folks, those are your headlines because that's what sells. So I think those professions and politicians should not be a profession. We'll go down my road here.
That's quite all right by me.
It should not be a profession. Your job should not be reelected. Your job should be something else. But you are called to serve, much like a teacher is called to teach, a class and help
that's
others
interesting.
learn. That's what I think.
So that was
politician.
question one.
Yep.
So I had about half the kids in the class. It was about 20-some students. So about half the hands went up for that one. Second question, I asked 2 questions. Second question was this: do all politicians lie? Every hand went up in the room.
Yeah.
Interesting fact here is, I said, I am your local politician. Their jaws dropped. They said, "Oh, Miss Nieder, we're so sorry."
Sorry, yeah.
I said, I say that, and I ask those questions to make a point. Get to know the people that are running for office. Get to know the people before you elect them. And I told them, I said, I understand your thoughts because it can be clouded by what is out there in the media. There are the negative connotations. However, at local level, get to know your people, get to know your candidates. So welcome to the time of year when it is campaign season. You drive around, you'll see the signs.
Sure.
It is. It's local. We've got state. We've got national. So it's a busy time of year. Here's another thing, Patrick. Is it more important to vote in the primary or the general election in Iredell County?
More important.
More important. And I say that from a point of, let's just say, in your schedule, if you're going to make time for something to vote, you need to vote both.
Everybody agrees on that.
Yes,
yeah.
that's
make
a clear
time,
one.
Make a plan, vote.
Right. Primary or general, I learned back shortly before I ran for office, actually it's going to be years before I ran for office, the importance of the primary. So if you said primary in Iredell County, absolutely. The race for county commissioners will be decided after the end of voting closes on March the 5th. Why do I say that? There are 7 Republicans running for 3 seats, including the 3 incumbents. There are 2 Democrats running for those seats. At the primary, the Republicans will be decided. On the ballot, it says, so if you walk in and you request a ballot and you're either registered Republican, unaffiliated, or several other approved
parties,
thank you. You can request your ballot. And then when you go to vote, you're going to see with the county commissioner section where it says you may choose up to 3 because there's 3 seats. You can choose 1, you can choose 2, you can choose 3. That's a unique opportunity that people don't always know about. But at the end of the day on March the 5th, when all ballots are in, all the counting is finalized, there's going to be 3 people in the primary left standing and 4 that will go home. Those 3 will go to the November ballot where the final count is done. You'll have 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats, but 4 go home. Okay?
That's for the 7 Republicans.
That's correct, on the county commissioners. There's a lot of other races going on. But of course, I'm speaking because I'm on the ballot.
Of course.
And that's what it is so important to me as a person to have the opportunity to continue to serve the citizens of Iredell County. It was a little different when I ran in 20. And I say that because 2 of the board at that time were coming off and they were not interested in serving again. At this time, we have 3 that are on the ballot that wish to serve again, 1 being me. So it is a unique opportunity. Attend to forums. You need to follow up on what forums are at, read up on people. It's more than just seeing a name. You need to get to know the person behind that and ask them tough questions. Reach out to them. Reach out to them on Facebook. Send them a message any way you can. You can look at mine at Need Nieder on Facebook, or you can message me at Melissa Nieder on Facebook. Website, those have kind of died off. I had no activity on websites, so I ended that one. But it is a wonderful opportunity to serve the citizens.
What do the numbers of the board look like? You mentioned 2 Democrats are running, 7 Republicans. That 7 in the primaries will be narrowed down to 3?
3.
And then when we go to the general election in November,
That's correct.
what are the numbers look like that? We vote in
Right.
who
when
goes?
Looking at the county commissioner race in November, there's going to be 3 names.
Yep.
On the on the Republican side and 2 on the Democrat side.
2 Democrats, 3 Republicans.
That's right. So you have an opportunity to select 3, up to 3.
Out of those 5. Okay.
So it's on the ballot.
Yeah. So, okay, from the numbers that you're telling me, you mentioned it during the commercial break, the primary versus the general election. So when you asked the question, I wonder, like what I was thinking, I was trying to think through it, but my head was already biased because you mentioned it during our commercial break. But I was wondering what an honest answer would have been. I probably would say I bet the general election was more important than the primaries. That's not in this case.
No.
With
and
the
number
numbers,
of voters
right,
is always higher, almost by, I'm afraid to say. I'll have to look back at numbers and that. And we'll run out of time before I have a chance to look that up. But I will get that information to you because it depends on the year. We're in a presidential year with the county. So, of course, it generates more interest to get people out. But it's still, the numbers in November are significantly higher than the primary. So the biggest things are making sure you get to know your people. I'm going to ask you another opinion because we got a little bit of time. And just some fun questions about politics in general, because there's different ways to campaign. Of course, you got your signs, your TV ads, your radio ads. I have my opinions on this, but I'll leave it for you. I want to hear from you, Patrick, on working or volunteering and standing at the polls, where you can a lot of times see your candidates lined up. I did that some back in 20, and it was interesting to see people's interest or aversion to that. So it's an interesting opportunity to, if you stand out at early voting sites, to either engage with voters. I will never run out in front of somebody and say, hey, vote for me, vote for me. That is the wrong thing to do. But some people will walk a very wide circle around the candidates to avoid that because they've already got their minds made up.
Right.
They've done their research. They're ready to vote. However, there's also some folks that would walk up to me because they're on the fence wanting to ask a few questions.
Sure. So
just what are your thoughts?
As
a voter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. As a voter, I'm not adverse to talking to candidates. We're coming up on a minute left. I wish I had longer with you here.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm one of those people that when I'm walking up to vote, to actually vote, I have made up my mind.
Right.
I don't
You're
mind.
in the majority. I will tell you that. That is the majority of voters.
I happily, like if I didn't know you, happily entertain. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, Melissa. And I would engage you in friendly chit chat, but I'm already made up my mind going in. I think, because I actually do, some reading and some research.
And that's the thing.
Folks like you. And
what I ask our voters is, do not vote by just closing your eyes and filling in a circle on the ballot. Please don't do it that way. Do some research, do some reading, talking to people. Just get out there and vote. March 5th is the primary date. February 15th.
Thank you so much.
Early voting. Patrick, thank you for having me on the air. This has been a blast.
News Drive at 5. Scoreboard with Joe Burke coming up next. Patrick Reynolds, I'll talk to you tomorrow.